I ended up mocking up a little bookshelf design. A little Amazon home purchase. Good morning. I am so happy with my desk in the corner here. It just feels so nice. I've been wanting to put my desk in the window for ages because after about midday, which is an hour from now, the sun goes up over the building and it gets really dark down the back of my apartment and it's just kind of like dull and not very motivating. But here, even at 4 p.m. yesterday, it felt bright and light and I was just so happy working all day yesterday. So really happy with the decision to put this here. A few people said that my lamp's too big for the desk, which is true, but I don't have anywhere else to put it. I love this lamp. I'm not getting rid of it. It's like one of my favorite purchases. And the more that it sits here, the more that I don't hate it. Like, I know it's a bit oversized, but I don't think I'm going to bother purchasing anything smaller because I actually quite like it. Anyway, I was just on Facebook Marketplace because I'm trying to figure out what to do with the blank space behind the couch now that I've rearranged the living room, which I love this layout so much more than the other way. Anyway, I was on Facebook Marketplace having a look for some Billy bookshelves from IKEA just to see if somebody had something that was in the color that I wanted. There wasn't anything that I was after, but a listing popped up for an overlocker, which is also called a serger, and it's another type of sewing machine. If you look on the inside of any of your clothes that are not knit clothes and they don't have a lining, the seams will have all these loops of thread along the edge of the fabric, and that's to stop the fabric from fraying and falling apart. And when you're just being like an at-home sewer and making your own clothes or pillowcases or things like that, you don't really need an overlocker, but it's so much better to have one. And if you are progressing with your skills of sewing, I would recommend having one. So I'd like to get one now that I've decided I really do want to invest more time into making things. And this lady has this listing. It was listed 17 hours ago. It's in Bethesda, which isn't too far from here. It's just to the north of DC. And I messaged her, and unfortunately someone else has put in an offer, and she said that if that falls through, then she would message me. And I'm like hoping that this person, whoever wants it, actually doesn't want it, and then it comes to me, because I will seriously jump on a train and go out there right now and get it. And that would just be the best purchase. So fingers crossed for me that I end up getting this overlocker and we can go on that type of adventure today. But in the meantime, I am trying to figure out what to do with that wall behind the couch. And I put up a poll on my Instagram stories the other day of whether I should do art or a bookshelf. And I think most people said art. However, I think I want to go with the bookshelves. A few people said it's going to be really cluttered, and I'm like, good, because that's exactly what I want. I want a full apartment. Something about just putting a piece of art on the wall makes me feel like it's a little too not personalized, if that makes sense. Whereas if I have a bookshelf and I fill it full of stuff that I love and things that I've collected over the years, then it just has like a little bit more character to it, you know? So I ended up mocking up a little bookshelf design in Canva. So I took a picture of my living room. I found a couple of bookshelf images and I put those into Canva, removed the wall background on those, cropped them, rearranged them, changed the coloring of them a little bit to make it all look the same so that I could see what having one tall bookcase, a small, thin, short one, and then one short, wide one would look like. And then that way I can kind of have the best of both worlds where I get a bookcase, but I also get a little bit of wall to hang art or something on, and like a ledge to be able to put things. Like I could put a lamp. Oh, and I also found a really cute lamp on Amazon. Whenever I find something I like, I try to find the best item at the best price, and I found a few that were really similar that were a bit cheaper. The one that I found was just the one that I wanted, so I went ahead and bought it. It's a gold floor lamp, and the top of it you can kind of pull out, and I'm thinking of making like the corner of my couch near the window kind of like a reading nook slash I could sit there and do my paint by numbers and have the lamp as my light when it's nighttime, because it's very dull here at nighttime. There's no ceiling lights and this lamp just doesn't cut it, so I need more lighting. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the living room. I'm gonna jump up and actually just test something out because I want to measure something. I have the couch pulled out at the moment because you can see there's the internet box down there, and that's the only place I think that I can plug it in. Anyway, I have so much space here between the end of the couch and the TV unit. When everything was flipped around the other way, I actually had about 2 to 3 feet less space between the TV unit and the couch. So there is so much room to pull everything across. I did a bit of measuring before, but I think the depth of the Billy bookshelves are about 11 inches. So really, I'd only need to move the couch out maybe another 2 to 3 inches. And that's not a lot of space that's gonna eat up into between the TV unit and the edge of the couch, right? And then I'd be able to hide things down behind the couch in the lower shelves. And I just think it would be really cool. I have measured out here. I could almost fit 3 full Billy bookcases. I'm trying to figure out how much that was. Putting the tape measure right on the floor, I measured it out for 3 full Billy bookcases along, 94 inches. 3 times 31.5 is 94. So if I put it all the way to the window, it comes to about here on the couch. So it leaves very little room. And if I pull it out even just a little bit, the bookshelf would come all the way to the wall here. I don't think I want it that full. So I'm sort of tossing up between whether I do 3 full bookcases or I do 2.5, because you can get that half little one, which is what I had in my last apartment in my office. And that would be 76 inches. I think that's 76 inches for 2.5. Probably should double check that, but 76, let's just say 76 inches for 2.5. If I came to about here, it would be centered in the couch and it would, both sides would come to about here. All I know is that I just want the wall to be full. So I'm just, yeah, tossing up between, oh, you know what? Maybe I should tape it out on the wall. And then that way I can see where the ends would come to. Maybe we should do that. This is a very wonky rough estimate. The 3 full bookshelves are the 2 outer strips, and then the 2 inner strips are the 2 full ones and a half one. The smaller set fits very evenly behind the couch, with a bit of the couch poking out either side, and the large one does take up most of the room. I really don't know. What do you think? I realized that the mock-up I made yesterday is completely out of proportion, so I measured the height of the Billy bookcase against the door frame, and I've resized it to make it a little bit more closer to what it actually would look like on the wall, and I still can't work out what size is better. I'm also starting to think that maybe I should just fully tape out the exact dimensions of the bookcase on the wall. But that's also like so much effort, and I really don't want to do that. I made a mistake when I was calculating the 2 full size and the half. I originally just put up the end pieces of tape by eyeballing where the ends of the sticky tape were on the floor, so it wasn't exact, but for whatever reason, I thought 63 plus 16 was 76 when it's 79. So there's an extra few inches there. This here is where the end of the large one would come, and you know what? I do think maybe just the 2 and the 1 make the most sense. I think if I tried to squish an extra half in there, it would just be too much. It's a little wonky, but I don't know that fitting the extra half in would be such a good idea. It might make it feel too cramped, even though there's still a fair bit of space. Like there's enough between the edge of the window here and the edge of that bookshelf to be able to fit another one in, but I don't know if I want the bookshelf squished all the way up against the window or squished quite close up to the door frame. And this seems quite full, you know, like with the 3. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I haven't purchased anything and I might not until after I hear what you have to say, but I do think I like it. I just went downstairs to pick up a package that's been sitting in the package room for like 2 days. It's just a little Amazon home purchase. I needed to get some magic erasers because I have a couple of marks on the wall behind me that I would really like to try and remove. One of them is from when I first moved in, and then the other ones are from the back of this chair. So I do have to be careful to make sure that the chair doesn't end up near the wall so that when I swing it around, it hits the wall, because I have made a few marks. I love this chair, but the thick metal sides of it make it really difficult. On my last desk, which was also from CB2, the whole front of the drawers were all like chipped up because because the metal kept hitting it. Thankfully, I don't think the metal hits, because this desk I think is a little bit higher, but if I'm not careful, the back of these corners will hit that wall. So I got a little 6-pack. I love a magic erasers. I think they're so handy to have when you have just things that you want to clean that any other regular cleaning cloth will not work on. If you've never used one before, you just wet it a little bit and then you just use it on whatever it is that you want to remove. You don't need any products or any sprays or anything like that. It's just water and the magic eraser. And this mark is finally starting to come off. This one was here when I moved in. If you squeeze too hard, you might get some drips coming down, like some of the water is starting to drip a little. Pretty much gone. There's still like a little faint mark there, but it's nowhere near what it was. It's a little bit just there. Okay, and then these marks here from my chair. It's doing damage to the wall. Hopefully I can get rid of like the gray, but it is gonna have little dents in the paint that I will probably need to fix up. That's actually so much better. You can barely see any mark on the wall now. Magic erasers are just the best. I will say I love this garbage can down here. It's been so easy to just throw in bits of paper and everything. Something that is on my to-do list is to thread all of my cables through here properly. I did kind of do my external and also the computer cable, but I need to do the lamp cable because the lamp cable just runs over the edge here, and I want to get all the cables all sorted in this thing under here. Welcome to the dark depths of the back of my apartment after 2 p.m. I had to let my camera charge for a little bit because I forgot to do it last night. And I've made myself a second coffee just because it's not too late in the day. I need to unpack the dishwasher and actually just clean the kitchen because it's really messy. And then this afternoon I have an appointment to go to. So last week after being sick, I thought it was time that I finally get like a primary care physician thing and set myself up like health-wise here. So I have a blood test tomorrow morning that I do have to fast for. I'm really not looking forward to because I couldn't get any earlier than 10:45, so that's not going to be fun. No coffee until after 10:45 is way too late. And then this afternoon I have another appointment and I'm just checking up on all of my health stuff and getting myself set up here. So I would normally take public transport, but it's such a nice day out there and I haven't been outside that much lately, and after being sick I haven't really been that active, so I thought, you know what, I might just take the extra time this afternoon to just go for a walk, you know, put in some music, be outside, get some sun. I think it'll just be really good. So that's what the plan is. I will probably need to leave in about 45 minutes. So I think if I just clean up all of the kitchen, finish my coffee, change into some gym clothing, I'll be good to go. I am just getting ready to head out for my lovely afternoon walk. I've been looking out the window, trying to see what everybody else is wearing to determine what the weather's like. I think it's only like 20 degrees, even though it's super sunny. It's not as hot as the last few days. I'm wearing a plain black t-shirt that's from like Big W, my Lululemon leggings that are a bit fluffy. I might have to defluff them before we leave. And then I have my little zip-up jacket from Pinspark that I love, which, by the way, I still love blue. That has not changed at all. And I also have my blue little Lululemon belt bag. I'm trying to remember if I ever shared this. My boyfriend got this for me for my birthday as well as my sewing machine because I saw this particular shade of blue and I thought it was so perfect. So I'm gonna pack that in a second. I'm gonna grab some socks and I think then I'm good to go. The other thing that I really like about having my desk here is I feel like I now just have so much more space to film in. Like I can just prop you up on my external hard drive right there, and it's so easy. I'm going to roll out my pants real quick. I'm really like anti-fluff. I don't like being fluffy. I don't like lint. I really should actually shave the seam of this because it's like got a few little white bits on it, but it's one of my things that I have to do before I leave the house. It bugs me a lot, especially my black winter coat. I don't know if it's a fully woolen coat. It's from Aritzia or Wilfred or whatever, and it's at least partially a wool coat, and it just clings, like my blonde hair clings to it and just fluff sticks to it. Very annoying. I think I have everything now, so let's go and enjoy the beautiful day in DC. It is the next day. I went and got my blood test this morning, which took a pretty good chunk out of my morning. And then I came home and I've actually just been editing all of the footage that you've already seen. And I thought I would finish off this video because I just went downstairs to get my packages and I have my new floor lamp. I've been wanting a floor lamp for so long and I just realized I have nothing to open the box with. Anyway, I've been wanting a floor lamp for so long because it's really dark in here. I mean, I want a bunch of different lamps and just lots of like nice lighting in here, and I'm really, really excited for this. I think this is just exactly what I was hoping for, and don't ask me why I hadn't thought about a floor lamp until now. You know, I could have done this weeks or months ago, but I guess I just didn't know what I wanted, and when I started looking the other day, I found it. I love it. I think it's so perfect, and it's adjustable too, so I can pull it down a little bit if I want to. I think I've extended it to the full height, and this little piece here is an extendable arm. I don't know if I can do this one-handed, kind of. Much better with two hands, but you can pull it back on itself so that it's kind of out of the way. I liked the extendable arm so that I can kind of pull it out over this part of the couch so that when I'm doing paint by numbers or I'm reading or something, then the light is directly above me. I also like the shape of the lampshade in this sort of tapered design, but it's really pretty. And then down the bottom is quite a large square base, which is nice, so it's pretty sturdy and it's not going anywhere. And I just think it's such a pretty design and I'm really, really happy with it. I'm just sitting on the floor in front of my mirror, fully procrastinating. I've been playing with my half-dead plant just to make sure it's still going strong, which I think it kind of is. I'd like to get a proper pot for it, but I'm procrastinating. I need to duck out and get some groceries, and I just don't want to. I don't do very big grocery shops. I just buy enough stuff for a couple of days at a time. So every 3 to 4 days, 4 to 5 days maybe, I go and get groceries, and I think it's been about 5 days. So I just need to get some stuff to get me through the next few days before I go back again, and I don't want to. I'm gonna make it a little shop though, because I really don't want to get too much, but I'm so sick of feeling so heavy in my chest. Like I just want to finish being done with the flu, you know? Quick little trip. I did grab a few things that I probably didn't need, but I was just in the mood for something a little bit more fun. So I have some bagels. They're not particularly very fun. I have some charcuterie meats. This is the fun part. Did I need these? No, but I wanted them. And to go with them, I got some brie cheese, and these are my favorite crackers. And I just think that these three are the best combination when you want like a little snack type dinner rather than a proper dinner. I also grabbed a little bag of the dark chocolate peanut butter cups because I love these. A cup of tea and a couple of these is like a nice little nighttime treat. So those are all the things that I probably didn't really need. I grabbed 2 boxes of my soup dumplings. I love these. These are the best. And I'm trying to decide what I should eat now. Like it's a weird in-between time of the day and I didn't really have breakfast because I had to fast for my blood test. And so I've kind of had a breakfast lunch. Like I've only had one meal and it's just my day's thrown off. So maybe I'll have one of these now. Oh, actually, no, I think I might have some crackers and some cheese. Or maybe I will have these. I just need something. I have milk, I have a lemon and a red onion. I have one of the small packets of smoked salmon because unfortunately the big one that I normally get was not there. And I grabbed 5 tomatoes because I've really been enjoying my bagels with my cream cheese and my tomatoes. I couldn't get any spring onions because of the whole listeria outbreak. There's so many things right now that are not available or have been recalled. I check every single time I go to Trader Joe's. Thankfully, nothing I have purchased has them except for the spring onions. I did buy 1 pack of spring onions and was halfway through eating them by the time I realized that they'd been recalled, but I was fine. Nothing happened. So that was like earlier this week and everything's fine. I'm gonna put this away and then probably just chill out I think for the rest of the afternoon because I'm just, I'm not feeling well. It is so cozy in here now, especially with that lamp. I can actually see what I'm doing. So I pulled out my paint by numbers. I haven't touched this in like a month and I actually haven't watched Gilmore Girls either for like this last month and I started watching the OC instead. I also started working on my dress, which I haven't touched all week. I've been rearranging my living room, going to the appointments and making and editing YouTube videos instead. So I haven't really had much of a chance to work on the dress. I'm gonna get into it this weekend, but I thought this afternoon I would just chill and do a little bit of painting and also chat to you because if you watched my last video, then you would know I talked about feeling really torn about content creation and how to show up and how to make videos and everything. And so kindly, most people were like, just make what you want to make. And I had a lot of people request things and I'm sort of realizing that maybe I haven't really shared a lot about the things that I like and the way that I live my life because I always get comments about how come I never go anywhere? Why am I always at home? You know, people always requesting that I should go and explore bits and pieces in DC and take you to my favorite restaurants and bars and cafes and things. And I just feel like this year in particular, I have had a full lifestyle change. It's like all of my priorities and where I want to put my energy has completely changed. And I don't think I've really talked about it. In regards to people always asking me to go out and show you more of DC, I honestly don't go anywhere. And I feel embarrassed about it. I feel like there's something wrong with me that I spend 90% of my time at home. And maybe it's because I don't have any friends here. But even if I did, I still think I would invite people over and be like, come like hang out. Let's have arts and crafts days. We can drink wine and cocktails and have girls' night in kind of thing. Because even when my friend Liz was in town a few weeks ago, we went out for dinner once. The rest of the time we just hung out inside because that's our vibe. And I love being at home. I love it. This is like my happy place. And now that I've rearranged my living room, it really is my happy place. And I know that me painting with dark red on my couch is probably gonna freak a few people out, but trust me, I'm being very, very careful. Anyway, oh, there's the giant section of number 4 that I was originally wanting to paint. I picked this color because I saw a giant section and then I lost it. Anyways, now I found it. But I truly don't go anywhere. 2 years ago, when I was living in Toronto, I was going out for dinner maybe twice a week. I was spending like $1,000 a month on going out for dinner and then maybe just as much on ordering in, like really, really bad habits. And I knew every restaurant in King West. I knew a bunch in Yorkville. I could have told you all of my favorite places. And I'm gonna put it down to maybe spending so much time at my mom's where you can't just go out for dinner and you can't order in food. There's no apps there to do that, right? Because it's so remote. I think I just picked up the habit of cooking at home, being at home, and not really going anywhere and doing anything. And I have carried that through into moving into a city again. Because since being here, not once have I ordered on like DoorDash or Uber Eats. I have not ordered in at all. And I have probably saved thousands. I have been out for dinner a handful of times. I've been to, I think, maybe 2 cafes here. One of them I shared in a vlog a little while ago. I went out for dinner on my birthday, so like special occasion, go out for dinner. I went out for dinner to the same place. It's a French place in Union Market, which I really like. We had steak frites, amazing, and I liked it so much from my birthday. We took Liz there. And then I think a couple weeks ago, I went out to an Italian restaurant in DuPont Circle. Can't remember it for the life of me. The pumpkin ravioli is amazing. And that's it, which is kind of equating out to like going out for dinner once a month. Ooh, I think that afternoon sun is reflecting off the building again. Anyway, I just don't go out anymore and I love it. I am just so happy saving my money and being a little bit antisocial. And like I said, I feel like there's something wrong with me. I really do. I feel like that's not normal. I feel like I'm supposed to want to go out. I'm supposed to want to explore and go to restaurants and bars, but I am just not interested. Yeah, I literally don't go anywhere. And it's just a complete lifestyle shift, you know? One of the other things that I was thinking about after reading some of the comments was I feel like I'm a creator. I make my videos and my content, but I'm also a viewer, just like you, right? I watch content. I have my favorite YouTubers. I have my favorite TikTokers, and I consume a lot of content. And I think I get caught up because from a creating side, I understand that there's a bit of a formula to follow that ensures like you will be successful kind of thing. But as a viewer, I kind of hate that formula. Like I am just not a fan of the like consume, sell. Oh my God, you have to buy this. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. You need this. The TikTok lingo and the mannerisms and the basically screaming at you constantly. I cannot do the churning over of trends. Every time I see a video where someone's like, so what are the sneakers of fall 2024? Like what are the sneakers we're all wearing? Or the opposite to that of, oh my God, I have these sneakers. You have to get them. This is the sneaker of like autumn 2024. I swipe up and scroll on. As soon as I see anything like that, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. And as a viewer, it all like makes sense. But as a creator, I get really caught up. And I need to find a way to create in a way that I like viewing, you know what I mean? Rather than just falling into the formula that a lot of people follow and that you're kind of told like, hey, if you want to be a creator, this is what you need to do. I do not feel comfortable trying to force products or things on you to like get you to buy them, right? So when I do my sponsorships, which forgive me, I have a lot coming up as we're getting closer to Christmas and the end of the year, like it's gonna be a lot of videos probably back to back, all have a sponsor in them. You don't have to do anything when it comes to those sponsorships. I don't wanna force feed you things. The way that I like to do sponsorships and talk about products is if it's something that I'm like, that's a cool product, I like that, I'm happy to share that, I'm happy to talk about it, I will talk about it, and then I will always be like, if you're in the market for like a new sweater or a new toothbrush or XYZ, then check this one out. That's the way that I like to do it. So whenever I find creators that are super just, here's a thing, if you like it, cool, if you don't, cool. Those are the types of creators that I really gravitate towards because I don't like being sold to and I try not to sell to you as well, even though that's part of the job. And that's where I get really caught up with like the content creation sometimes and really torn between like viewer and creator and how do I do this and how do I show up and how do I make it feel good and make sense? You know what I mean? These are just like all the things that go through my head when I'm trying to create. And I've never really had as much of a block with it as I'm having now because like I said, I feel like my life has changed a lot and the way that I do things has changed a lot and the expectations and the things that are being asked of me sometimes aren't really aligning and I'm just like, I don't know how to do this. I do find that consuming and buying things is very subjective. Everybody's needs are very different. Realistically, I don't need anything. I have a roof over my head and I can feed myself. I don't need anything. So when I say I need a floor lamp because it's dark in here, I don't really need it to exist, but it's one of those things where to make the room more comfortable to live in, I need it, you know? And that's kind of how I like to buy things. So sometimes I will say I need something and it's not truly a need, it's a want, but it's something that makes sense to call it a need, you know? And I'm conscious of being a bit more intentional with my purchases because I start to feel guilty if I'm just buying too much all the time. I don't know if any of this is making sense or if anybody else feels this way. I love shopping. I love shopping, and I'm just sort of comparing my life a lot to where I was when I lived back in Toronto, because in terms of circumstances, it's pretty similar. I have my own apartment, I live in a city, whereas last year I did not have my own space and I was living in the country for a very long time. And 2 years ago, whenever I would go out to like maybe HomeSense or Marshalls or Winners or anything like that, I would just buy stuff for no reason because it would be fun and buying things was fun, and I don't want to do that anymore. I think what it just comes down to is just the habits that I have changed. What makes me happy has changed. Honestly, I just kind of want to go and live a quiet little suburban life. I'd love a backyard, I'd love a house, and that's what my goal is. And so everything else that's not super necessary, I'm kind of cutting out and just focusing on saving my money and working towards that goal of just living a nice quiet life where I get to potter around the home and just, do all of the things that I love, because all the things that I love are very arts and crafts based. I have always been like this my entire life, working with my hands and creating things, just my favorite thing. I know it probably looks like I'm holding my painting canvas very weird right now, but this is actually pretty comfortable. It's good for my back because I'm obviously just sitting on the couch. It's not always the best for your back, and holding it this way, it means I just get to look down at it in a comfortable manner. So it might be a bit weird, but this is what's working. Anyway, the things that I love, so I don't sound so completely negative right now. I love cleaning. I really do. It's a coping mechanism for when I'm stressed. It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel happy. I love it. I love cleaning. I love rearranging my apartment and trying to make things all fit together. Again, another coping mechanism for when I'm a bit stressed or a bit overwhelmed. If I rearrange something, I feel like I get a fresh perspective. Absolutely love it. Did it all the time as a kid, still love doing it now. Painting. These are paint by numbers. I like paint by numbers because it's half already planned out for you and you don't really need to be that creative, but it's also just really fun kind of trying to blob the paint on into all of the spaces and get it done. And so I love this. I love my sewing. My sewing makes me so happy because it is like this structured thing that has steps and it's like putting together a puzzle. I love puzzles. Any type of puzzles. I really like Catan. I play a lot of Catan because it's a strategy game that's also mixed in with a bit of luck, but it's just very, very satisfying. Love that game. I finally have been back in the gym this week after being sick and away. I have started to really enjoy going to the gym. I like going for walks. I like being out in nature and just chilling, which I need to do more of, but where I am, there's not really a lot of nature and it's kind of a bit of an effort to get to, which is something I've realized since being here. I think I would prefer living somewhere where it's a bit more naturey outside. Like in Toronto, I live right in the water. So if I was like, okay, I just gotta get outside, straight for a walk on the water and I get calm and just start to feel better. Or I could have crossed the Gardiner and went into Corktown and up that way. So I had a lot of options. Here it is just buildings and streets. And my boyfriend and I actually went for a walk the other day over on one of the little islandy section things. You cross the river and then there's kind of like walking areas, and it was delightful. And that also made me go, you know what, I really need to live somewhere where there's places to walk that are just outside, whether it's a park or by water or something that I really love. And I miss having something like that around. On the topic of friends and stuff, I have every intention of making friends and I'm not even worried or concerned about making friends. I just haven't tried because I just haven't felt in the mood to be social. And I don't know, maybe it's a bad thing that I spend so much time alone, but doing what I'm doing right now is literally the best thing in the whole world. But I will be social. I'm being social this weekend. I have a Halloween party to go to and I am going to be social. I'm going to show up. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to try and make friends. And then maybe I'll go outside and explore more of DC. It just hasn't been a priority for me because it's not an area of my life that I feel unfulfilled in, because I have such good friends. Even though they're long distance friends, I talk on the phone all the time. While I was going to Trader Joe's, I spent like a good half an hour on the phone with Liz. I talked to her 2 days ago. I talked to two of my other friends on the weekend. I talked to Rachel Ost every single day. We are constantly sending stuff to each other all the time. And so I have such good relationships. They're just far away relationships. And that's okay. So I think that's also one of the reasons why I haven't really been driven to go out and make friends, because like I'm still very fulfilled in that department. I'm trying to think if there was much else that I can remember from all of the comments. I don't know. I mean, as a viewer, my thing right now is I love finding creators that just exist. Like I just want to watch creators who just exist, who kind of feels like you're just hanging out and they're sharing bits and pieces of the things that they like and they enjoy. And it ranges from everything from like clothes that they like and outfits they're putting together without it being too in that intense TikTok mannerisms and also in that super pushy selly way. And then when they're doing more creative based stuff, I really like that. And I've been, just avoiding anyone that's really salesy, anyone that makes me feel like I'm not part of the cool club, and then anyone that's just, they feel more like a business almost as opposed to like a creator, if that makes sense. I don't really know how else to explain it, but maybe you'll get it if you're the same. I don't love people who I can tell are just posting content because they have to. I just really enjoy the people who are just sharing little bits of their life here and there, their different interests, the things that they enjoy, what makes them happy. That's kind of my vibe. And that's kind of, I think, what I really need to do as a creator is just do what I like as a viewer, you know? So there's a part of me that's like, well, this video was really silly. I spent like 10 minutes of this video because I've already kind of edited half this video. I'm like, oh, I've spent 10 minutes trying to figure out my wall. And to some people, that's just so stupid. But to me, I'm like, I actually really like that process. I talk out loud and I figure it out, and then I feel like I'm doing it with you and I'm not doing it alone. And that's just really enjoyable to me. And then, I feel like I didn't do much in this video, but like filming it and just chatting to you and just doing bits and pieces around my house and running errands just feels nice when I don't have to do it alone. Because doing the bits and pieces around my house and running the errands are like the best parts of my life. And that sounds really sad, but it's true. I just love the mundane. I love it. It is just so satisfying to me. So I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me. And let me know what your thoughts are on the bookshelves behind me. And I guess I will see you in a few days. I still haven't stuck to a specific upload schedule yet. I'm trying, I'm getting there, but I'll see you in a few days.